Hello, hello, everyone. Oh, are we ever in for a wicked treat tonight? Okay, I'm just gonna refresh my Facebook page over here so I can see comments as they roll in. Okay, we are live. All right, this is going to be a much anticipated call. I know I've been getting messages. People have been going crazy. Just, yes, this is the call I've been waiting for. I need to understand how to build online and how you close people when they're not in front of you or, when you're not teaching a class. So I am just so excited. I was actually talking so this is Megan Spolstra, everybody. Her a huge hello. Hey. Megan is one of my very good friends. We've been friends for quite a while, met in doTERRA, in the doTERRA world. And she's amazing. She is amazing. We've collaborated on a few different projects before because she is the heart. I am the structure. So we bring a lot of good juice to our stuff because we come from two different angles, and I love it. So that means you guys are going to be getting such a treat this evening, and I'm so honored. So I sent her a message, I think it was last week, and I was like, girl, you need to come and do a live. Posted this post about what do they want training on, and everyone's like, how online? And so she is somebody that has been a huge inspiration of building online in this past year. And so, I mean, Megan's always been amazing at copyright and just your photos. I mean, I love everything that you do when it comes to how you have positioned yourself. But you started from zero and started a brand new account last year and decided you were going to pivot, as we all kind of had to, and you started a new Instagram account and built it up to, just over 3,000 very engaged followers. And you have now been able to pivot your whole business to actually building online and building through your Instagram account. You basically are selling just through your DMs. And this is something that a lot of people are dying to know how the heck you do, because we were kind of brought up in doTERRA to teach classes, and they were always in person prior to, everything happening within the last year. And we've just kind of had to kind of shift, right? And so you've been able to do this so beautifully. So I'm just really honored that you're here with us this evening and that you are going to share all your juicy nuggets with us and share your screen and show us your Instagram account. So have all of you guys who are live watching. Oh, and I can see all the comments rolling in. Hi, everybody. So what I'm going to have you guys do right now is go ahead and follow Megan so that you can actually see. And I am going to add follow her here. I'm going to add this. Is it Oil Lovin' Mama still?
At the Oil Lovin' Mama.
Okay. So follow her on Instagram so you can see her actual page, and just to give her some love. Okay, look, I can't do more than one thing at a time, but it's also 8:30 at night. So we got to give us some love. All right. So the Oil Lovin' Mama. Okay, I got it. All right, guys. Here we go. I am going to pass the torch to Megan. She is going to share all her juicy goods with us. And post questions, please, in the comments. Yes. And that way we can answer your questions as we go as well. And I'm going to pop in and just ask you some of the things I got on my mind. But I want to pass it off to you where you can sort of build the foundation of what you want to share with us today. And then we can get into some questions at the end. Cool?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay. So like Jen said, this spring, specifically in May, I was feeling a little bit frustrated with my doTERRA business because we couldn't build online or build in people's homes. And the magic I always felt was in the classroom. That is where my gift set was. It was being in a room with all these beautiful souls and connecting, and just that energy that was there. And so I get my best ideas in the tub, and I'm soaking in my aroma touch, and I was laying there floating in the tub, and I was like, how can I create that experience of inviting people in that living room experience, but online in a means that is going to allow me to still be present. I have 4 kids and we foster babies, so we have 5 kids in our home. So how can we create this space where I can do this online now, but that has that still warmth that we get from being in person? And so this birthed the Oil Loving Mama account. So I just started out with posting about oils, and I think that we overthink things online all the time. We overthink so many things within our business, but online I feel like we're really, really overthinking, and we sometimes forget that it's just like when we're teaching oils, go back to the basics, okay? People want to be educated on how to use their oils. Period. That is the biggest piece that I can just remind you. Just share about your oils. And when you're sharing about your oils, you're passionate about it. Your passion is going through the work that you're creating, and then your community is feeling that, okay? So I'm going to talk a couple different things about Instagram. I want to talk about how to make it work for you time-wise, and how to make it work for you when you're enrolling people. So I missed the name. So it's the Oil Lovin' Mama. Lovin, Lovin, Mama, Momma. It's as creative as I could get 6 years ago when I was thinking of a name, and it kind of stuck. So there we are. Okay, so we are going to share my screen. I'm going to show you guys my Instagram because it will help a little bit with some of the stuff I'm talking about here. Share. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, so here is my Oil Lovin' Mama page right here. So some of the things that I want to talk about, I know Jen had mentioned that people were asking, how do you enroll people online, which is a really, really great question. And how do you bring that conversation into the direct messages when you are having it with people? And what I told her was, the value of your content and the consistency of your content does the selling. So this right here does all the selling for me. All of this beautiful curated information does the selling. And by the time people come to my direct messages to have a conversation about purchasing essential oils, they already know what they want. They already know what kit they want. They've already researched it, because I've basically taken them on a journey through my entire Instagram page. So I'm going to show you guys ways to do this, okay? And if you have creation ideas, things like that. So this post right here, this post is about our #1 kit, right? This is our essential kit. So when I am creating content, I want to create content that I can use over and over and over again. So I'm time leveraging. So when you're sitting down to do your content, you want to make sure it has a ton of value for people, that it's something that other people can share, something that you can share over and over, right? So for example, this kit, I throw this post up in my stories every other week about this kit and how I think it has the most value. So if there's a potential customer that's coming to my Instagram page, they know very clearly, this is the kit that I think has the most value. So I planted a seed. This is the kit that she is talking about, that she's telling me has value, that I need. Okay, and then I'm going to continue to post different oil things, different oil combinations that would coordinate with the oils that are in this kit and coordinate with an essential oil lifestyle. You're also going to notice that when I'm posting content, I don't post about one specific oil. Hardly ever. Very rarely will I post about one oil, except for like Yarrow Palm, because of its value. And we talked about cypress, because I feel cypress is such an underrated oil. Like, everybody needs cypress, because the oil of just moving you through many, many things in life. But you will see combinations, right? And the reason why you're seeing combinations is because then when people pop into my direct message, I want that combination of essential oils you talked about, right? If we're simply focusing all the time on one oil, just lavender, just lemon, people are like, I just want that lemon you talked about. I just want that lavender you talked about. I just want that one specific oil you talked about. Whereas if I'm posting about different combinations and do it yourself and things for them, it's going to take that conversation into my direct messages, usually never about a single oil, but about a combination of things that I've talked about, okay? So that was kind of number one. The sale isn't happening. Remember, the sale isn't happening in your direct messages. The sale is happening in the value and consistency of your content. Okay. So when we talk about value of your content, if you're just throwing up random, generic, slapping up posts because you need to post something today and it's very generic and it doesn't have an emotional attachment for you, I can guarantee it's not having an emotional attachment for your community either. Okay. So I will talk about how to create content in just a minute where you are totally inspired and just on fire, and that's going to come through. Okay. So the next way to be having conversations coming into your direct message about selling is using these beautiful bubbles. Okay, so here is my get started bubble. And this walks people very easily through how to be a customer, right? What are their options? As my personal customer, it tells them that when they sign up with me, this is what's going to happen, what they have access to, what their wholesale account even does for them, how they can write their story so they can pick which one they want, and how to begin. And I throw those up about twice a month into my stories. So again, I'm planting all these seeds for people. So people are like, oh, she's talking about this. She's talking about how to get started. So I'm planting seeds. It's kind of like this is your sampling, right? We sample before we invite someone to a class. Consider this to be your sampling online. You're sampling them with what kit you see the most value. You're sampling them with how to get started. You are planting that seed seed for them. Also in Get Started. Oh, right. Okay. Also, in Get Started, we have all of the kits so people can scroll through your Instagram and see the kits. Again, throwing these up in your stories even once a month so people know the different starter kits. So you're planting seeds. Always focus on the one that you see the most value in, which I think is this kit. So this is the one I'm always kind of plugging away. Okay. And then if you have your perks, there's your perks again. Okay, and then you're putting that information in there. So you are planting those seeds well before. So by the time somebody comes to your direct message box, A, it's either to ask you for a link to purchase the kit. B, I have an email that tells me someone enrolled, and then I connect with them. Usually they're like, I've been following for months and watching your content, and every time you post, I think about how I should get that kit. Or C, if someone is coming to my direct mailbox and they don't want a kit, for example, and they're like, Megan, I want lavender and balance. Then I go over with them. I ask them a couple questions. What are you wanting lavender and balance for? Well, I can't sleep. I can't stay asleep. I'm stressed out through the day. I'm this, I'm that. And I asked them if they'd be comfortable with me tailor making a little package for them. I think lavender is great. I think balance is great, but some of these other oils would be fantastic. Would you be okay with me tailor making a package? I'm going to send a link. Check it out. If the price works for you, let's do this. I enroll within 10 to 15 minutes, always on Instagram. It is so fast because what is happening is people are coming here, they're being educated, they're being given value, and this is doing the work for me. So all of my work now when I'm building online is in my creation content. It is what I'm putting out there because this is doing my sampling for me. This is doing my getting people interested. This is my class, right? And so it's getting people interested. And by the time that we connect, it's simply a matter of me using the link generator, which is absolutely brilliant. So I don't have to ask for their personal information, and I plug that link in.
Now, Megan, okay, this is just
yes.
like brilliance. Okay, few questions before we move forward because
yes,
it's so amazing. Okay, first off, the tailor-made kit. I love that this is how you do it. Is that you always post combos of oils that are in kits, so that it's not only just these two oils, but think about if we get all 10, or you'll talk about an oil like Clary Calm and pair it with another oil that comes with the kit. So when you're saying tailor make a kit, is the tailor made kit an enrollment kit, or you're actually adding $42 plus single oil? So what do you mean by the tailor made kit?
So if a starter kit doesn't meet their needs, if there's not enough oils that we can match to different things that they have going on in their life, then I tailor it with a $42 membership. I add a $42 membership, and then I add the essential oils that I think would be best for them. So I'm adding it. So I'm basically making my own enrollment kit with the $42 membership.
Okay, awesome. And then in terms of what resources, so if we have some of our collective here are new, and if they're new and they're like, I don't have 6 years experience to know what even any of these things do together, like what I'm even going to post, because I don't even know what content to write up when I'm so new to these oils myself. What resources do, and yes, we are both from Canada. Are y'all from Canada? Even though I say we are we live very close to each other. That's why we're close. Okay, if we've got people that are new here, where are they going? What resources do they need in order for them to feel comfortable coming up and curating all of this content, or even knowing the emotional benefit of this? And now, I mean, I know what resources we have, but I'd like to know what you would recommend to people, and what do you go to get your content?
Yeah, so one of the things I do is I have a running tab in notes anytime I'm using my oil. So for example, before I'm speaking tonight, I grabbed Passion, stuck it on my wrist, right? That is one way I use it. So I open up my notes before speaking Passion, and I have an ongoing notes tab of the ways I'm using my essential oils, very generically, always. So that is like ongoing. So when I go to sit to create content, I'm like, Passion before speaking, this, use Yarrow Palm in the morning, whatever. So then I have the topic of what I want to talk about. Now, if I want to go further in depth, emotions and oils is a fantastic one. I believe my essential business isn't open yet, but there's one in Canada called Essential Magic.
Yes, Sue's actually on. I've seen her commenting. So if you guys are in Canada, then we've got Sue on here. You can drop the link to your site, Sue. They have the exclusive rights in Canada to the Essential Life and the book. And in the US, yes, for all of our US friends that are wondering what we're talking about, $42, that's like talking about adding a $35 membership to the cart. We pay $42 in Canada.
Yes.
If you guys are pretty confused of what we're talking about with $42, yes, it's the $35 US membership. So great. So you use the emotions, the essential emotions.
I use that all the time. Yeah, and the emotions for the emotions, because a lot of times now, like when I love One Drop and things like that, but a lot of times we're talking about the physical benefits of oils. The emotional benefits are such a beautiful side benefit to using our oils. And if we can show people that that oil can cover so many things, it opens people's minds to it, because you're introducing them to the benefit of, oh, my shoulder's hurting, I'm going to put peppermint on my shoulder to help with tension. But it's also awakening me, and it's going to be also awakening me like emotionally and having emotional benefits. So if you can tap into all those ways, it's a great resource. I actually straight up, if you follow any of my lives, I straight up pull that baby out and I read straight from it. I mean, I've been using the oils forever, but I am always a student. And you know what? I just open that book, I read through it, and then people are like, what book is that? They want more information on it. They want the book, which I want them to get the book, because then they're going to use their oils more if they get the book. So I've used the emotional book, Modern Essentials, and then my Essential Life book. So those ones I'll go through and I'll find other ways. Or doTERRA Blogspot, what's the mouthful, has fantastic little blurbs of how to use it. So if you're trying to figure out how to be compliant or whatnot, you can make it a little bit cheeky, but you can also find great information on the Blogspot. Why can I say it? Blogspot from doTERRA.
Yeah, there are so many places and what I love about Megan's stuff, guys, is that this is all her own photos. So she's not just scraping photos from, doTERRA's website, or she's not Googling pictures and downloading them and re-uploading them. Like you spend the amount of time other people are spending sampling and inviting and texting. You're spending just curating this beautiful content, and your time and energy and thought goes into every single post you do, which is the time investment that you're doing in your business. And then you're, like you said, closing them so easy in DMs. So before we get to actually how you close them in DMs, and we've touched a little bit on that, do you use hashtags? How did you actually grow your community to just over 3,000 people in this last year? How did you do that? Like, is it hashtags you're using? Like, walk us through that part of the process.
Yeah, so every single post you create, you want to put a location. So I always have a location. I kind of play around with different locations in my area so that people don't necessarily know exactly where I live. So do Ancaster or Toronto or Hamilton or London, right? So add a location. Next, you want to tag on your actual photo. So not a hashtag, but just tagging your photo. doTERRA Canada, doTERRA US, doTERRA Australia, doTERRA Europe, doTERRA South Africa. Every doTERRA continent that you can think of, you want to tag that on your picture because that's also going to help you get in front of other people. And then the hashtags, obviously. So you're going to want to use some hashtags. There's a lot of different, actually, people have so many different things about hashtags. I use a handful that are doTERRA and a handful that are reaching the market that I want to connect with. The reason why I use a handful of doTERRA ones is if someone hasn't used doTERRA before and they're interested in doTERRA, they're going to look up a hashtag for doTERRA, right? doTERRA hashtag, they're going to start scrolling and they're going to find your graphic there. And if it's super visually appealing and it stands out, they're going to find you. And then the other half using to connect. So like, for example, moms. My target market is moms. That is my ideal customer, which is also super important when you're creating content. As a side note, know who your ideal customer is. We always were taught it was you 5 years ago. So if you were to write a post to you 5 years ago, who's like, what's that person gonna need, right? And then my hashtags align with that. So moms and babies, moms, motherhood unplugged, whatever. Also within hashtags, this is where it gets like, so you want to use hashtags that have a variety of different amount of followers. So if you're always using a hashtag that 1 million other people are using, chances are no one's going to see your post because 1 million people are using it. So using hashtags that have like 60,000, 50,000. So you find this out by going on doTERRA Instagram. On Instagram, type in tags and type in doTERRA, start typing in different doTERRA type things, and it's going to show you how many people are using those hashtags. And then I curate different groupings. So a grouping for when I do a diffuser post, a grouping for when I do doTERRA, a grouping for when I do just a post about motherhood. So that is one way that I use hashtags. Another big thing is creating content that other wellness advocates and other people want to share. So for example, I have created a space that I want for both customers, but I also want for our essential oil community of doTERRA to feel comfortable using content. And sometimes when you're just starting, for example, and people are asking you, what makes doTERRA different? Why is it different? Why is it different? And you get choked up, right? I remember people saying, why would I buy oils from you when I can buy them from Sage? I can buy them from Young Living. And I didn't know the answer. I like to create content as well for our wellness advocates to answer those questions for you. So creating a behind the scenes, this is what it looks like, or creating things that other people feel comfortable, but then they're also sharing it with their communities, and it's building a community because other people are able to see your content as well. And so a lot of people that follow me, there is a significant amount that are customers, but a significant amount are also wellness advocates because we're continually learning from each other. So it's kind of creating content that there's kind of different pieces to it. Sometimes I'll create a piece that I know is going to bring in new customers. Sometimes I create a piece that's just to help out new advocates, maybe give them some words and a gift of words to use because they're not quite there yet. So it's kind of creating a community that kind of blankets so many different things for doTERRA. And so it grows through that. It grows through advocates, and it's growing through customers as well. Does that answer your question? That was a really long-winded answer, sorry.
This is so good. There's so much gold in this. It's amazing. Okay, so people who are not tech savvy or photo savvy, let's pull back up your screen. I want you to share your Instagram again and let everyone see your page. So people who don't know where the heck to begin, I know you have a few tips that are so simple to actually making your feed looks like what it looks like. The super simple things, super simple apps that can give the look that you have. So can you give us a few of those tips? Maybe just two to keep it easy for those who are kind of just starting with this. How can we get a feed that looks like the Oil, Love, and Wellness feed, right? Not to be comparison, because we all know Thief of Joy. You got to be yourself. Make it your own, but we can get some inspiration here. So those of you guys that have a competition as a high strength, don't fall into the basement of comparisonitis here. We are going to be inspired by what Megan has accomplished here, and we're going to get some ideas. All right, so go ahead and share your screen. Let's see what that looks like.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple really simple tips. One, your lighting. Only use natural lighting. So only shoot during the day. You'll see actually if you start to dissect my page with me, you're going to see that this spot in my house is almost for all my pictures right here. There, right? So when you start to look, you're going to see all these pictures. So this is in one of the rooms in my house that has beautiful, beautiful lighting. So all natural lighting is taken here. And all these photos are taken with your iPhone. And you're going to want to use your portrait mode on your iPhone because your portrait mode beautifully blurs the background for you and then makes your oils at the forefront here. So portrait mode on your phone, natural lighting is a big one. And try not to have distractions, just the oils. And I love to use things like, this is just a knife block. And over here, I love linen. This is going to be a few tips, sorry guys. I love linen towels. The reason being is that linen is super expensive. Buy dish towels, some cute dish towels, just throw them in your pictures and start playing with angles and playing with how it looks in your pictures. And then my last tip would be a good preset.
So where can someone get a preset from on their phone?
Yeah, so presets is something you're going to want to YouTube. YouTube presets, how to use them. So I use an app called Lightroom. It's free. It took me a tiny bit to get used to. So, and I'm not very techie, believe it or not, I'm not a super techie person. So presets are something that you can buy on Etsy. So for example, you can get 6 presets for like $7 on Etsy if you want. Or you can buy them off Instagram. So a lot of times, if there's accounts that you like to follow, for example, and they're really creative type people, they have their own presets. So the Birds Papaya, for example, is someone that I love to follow. She has her own presets. The ones that I use are called Brit Havens. So if you go, I'm just going to show you guys because you can see on mine. So Brit Havens sells her presets. So she had a vibe I loved. See her color scheme, I really loved. Her content, I loved the way that it looks. So find one that really speaks to you. She uses a lot of natural lighting. And then I purchased her presets, and that is what I use. So a preset basically puts a filter over the picture so that all the coloring remains the same. So I can take pictures in different lighting on different days, and there's different colors, but when you look at it, it's got like a pretty big similar look to it because the preset, so it's like a filter that you put over it and you use the same one, kind of keeps that consistency for you.
And do you use a tripod for all of these pictures? I don't see your hubby in the background taking
No, I don't let him. I'm very picky. This is a tripod picture with a just self timer on my phone. Only if I'm in them in a situation where both my hands are in there do I use a tripod. This one's just a selfie. Otherwise, I don't use a tripod. This one's obviously a tripod. So anything that I'm in that I need both my hands is a tripod. This is literally just my hand against a wall and me holding my cell phone and taking a snapshot.
And I mean, guys, you don't have to have this identical as Megan does. We're just getting some inspiration here, but she's not a photographer, guys. She's she built to diamond with 4 children under the, no, 3 under 4 at that, no, 4 under 4. Weren't they?
Yeah,
No,
when we hit diamond, it was 4, and then when we hit blue, they were a little bit older.
We hit the rank of diamond with 4 children under the age of 5 years old, guys. Like, that's insane. So we're talking a mom who was a nap time ninja, who built her entire business within her nap times. And it was literally connecting with people, finding out what they needed, getting them sorted, and getting their oils into their home. So when you're building now, I mean, because you did everything through classes back then, like you taught like a lot of classes, and you, again, very, very strategic about how you built your business. And now with this pivot and you growing a lot of your business online, I can hear Everly screaming, so I probably am gonna. I don't like. I just want to keep going. This is like always for now. Anytime I do evening calls, it's like such a disaster. Okay, so okay, my question is, in terms of closing in the DMs. So you are basically, as you said, you are selling by your photos. Your photos have now become your new class. They're your one-on-one, they're your class, they're your coffee dates. It's literally all on your Instagram page. And this is how you're educating your people, which I absolutely love, because half the time I'm sure you're educating people you don't even know who you're educating, because they're just following you, which is the beauty about this. And so so they pop into your DMs and they're like, I love that last post you just did. I loved what you just talked about with that lavender and balance. And then you ask them a few discovery questions. So you're amazing. I'd love to hear from you. What is it that you're looking at using the balance and lavender for? What is it that, and so you're now starting to talk about their health goals. You're getting a better idea of what they need. You ask permission to send them a link with what you would recommend them get started with, to check it out. If it's within their budget and it looks good to them, then you guys can go from there. Am I so good? So
yes.
Okay. So then you send them a link with whatever you've curated for them, whether it be a kit or whether it be the enrollment fee with a DIY a la carte, and you've kind of designed that up yourself based on what they've told you their health goals are. Then are you still, once their oils arrive, because this is someone you didn't even know, like they may have just been following you all along, where do you go from there? Do you still now do the back end of the customer experience in terms of, do you still do their wellness consultation? Is that something you're doing in Zoom or on the phone? Are you doing that through DMs? How do you do the back end support with these customers that you've really not even built relationships with personally?
Yeah, so I created something called a welcome box. And if you look through my Instagram, you'll find it. It is basically a box that I put together with a bunch of things. And I mean, creatively, you can make something look like it's $1 million, and it's not at all. So it's this beautiful little box. It's got crinkly paper. They open it up, and that has their oil book in there. It's got a bunch of material. It has 2 roller bottles in there and some samples. So when they sign up, as part of their sign up, I say, hey, like, I see that you've enrolled. Let's book that call. That is part of your enrollment. So it's kind of a non-negotiable. I make it sound like you get your oils, you get a phone call with me, and you get a welcome box. That's your enrollment. So I set up that call right away when they enroll. So it's in our calendar. I'll either call them through Instagram, because we've been contacting through messages. It's super easy. I just call, they answer. Or if they prefer Zoom, I'll do a Zoom call. I personally prefer Zoom because I can show them through my back office how to place an order. And then I do a whole welcome scenario with them, right? So they've gotten their oils. Chances are they have my welcome box too. So I'll actually make them open their oils. I make them crack the bottle open. I make them smell it so that they're using the oils, they're smelling the oils right away. Sometimes I'll make a roller right away, and then I'll say, okay, let's talk about those health goals. So you had told me you wanted sleep, you wanted less stress in the day, and you got muscle tension. So these are the oils you're going to pull out, take a smell. You're going to combine these in a roller bottle, and they'll either do it on the call or they write down the tips. But because they have that welcome box, because they have their oils, I'm able to walk them through that experience that they're getting in a class 2 when they're cracking open the oils. We're just doing it over a Zoom call. I introduced to them the LRP program at that point as well. And then I show them how to place their first order as well. On my Instagram content, I have bubbles on how to do the loyalty program. And I talk about the loyalty program all the time. So there's another touch point. They've probably already heard about the loyalty program. Chances are they're like, yeah, I looked at that link. I saw the loyalty program. I had heard about it. You'd post it in stories. So you're always giving touch points to them. When you're bringing it up, it's not this awkward, like, hey, we have an auto ship program. They already know about it. I also tell them, so my team has a tribe website. And there's an opportunity page that is available. So we have a customer lounge and a builder lounge, which is customer lounge is a perk for our customers. The builder lounge is a perk for our builders. They're both password protected, but there's an opportunity thing, which is not password protected. And I also give them that link. I say, look, if you ever are using your oils and you absolutely love them and you find that you're just like wanting to talk about them with people, you're just finding that you're experiencing them more deeply than you thought and you're sharing about them with people, I'm just going to leave this link here for you too. It basically just has a build guide, a share guide, and a launch guide link. There's a video clip that actually Jen and I did just talking about the business opportunity, and they can watch that, and it's like on their own time. And then if they ever want to come to me about the opportunity, it's there, but it takes that pressure off me having to be like, and if you want to sell the oils, blah, 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 I just leave them the link. And I just simply say, if you think about it, and then that's basically what our wellness consult looks like. And then they're continually getting education through Instagram, or I'll plug them as well into our Facebook education group, because there's units that kind of walk them through different steps as well.
I love it. That is literally how Megan business from beginning to end. And please, if you're on this call, take what's meant for you and let the rest slide. Like if you already have an onboarding system that's working for you, stick with that. If you already have a team page that you do or a system that you are plugged into that works for your back end, stick with that. And then pull from this call what is going to work for you and meant for you. That's one of the things that I really want to stress to you guys. You can learn from every diamond and blue diamond and presidential diamond in this company, how they run their business. And every single one of us will tell you a different way. And if you come onto every call and then try to duplicate what one person does, and you try to go with their route, and then you watch the next call and there's someone else that's totally different, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to try that way. You will be so overwhelmed, and you will feel so not inauthentic, but you won't be in alignment. You'll be confused, you'll be scared, and you
won't hear your own voice.
100%. You have an internal compass and inherent wisdom inside of you. And the whole purpose of what we do here at the Dough Planner Collective is, like, I'm literally just here to give you on a silver platter the most amazing goods from all of these amazing people like Megan Spolstra. But for you to be able to take that and say, what in this call was for me? And I'm going to take that little 20%, and then someone else is going to take a different 20%, and then someone else is going to take a different 6%, and someone might take 100%, right? If you're brand spanking new and you're like, I love this, I'm going to take it. I'm just going to go forward. But please just don't overwhelm yourself with all of the information and then try to do all of the things. This is meant for different pieces for different people. And keep in mind too, Megan has her own very specific strengths about her that she needs to honor and do everything in a way that honors those strengths. And if you don't have the same type of strengths as Megan, you may be in more productivity doing something a little bit different or a little bit more unique.
Use one drop. Use one drop if creation drives you crazy.
Totally. Exactly. Right. There's actually, James is on here too. If you want to drop your link, you guys have amazing curated photo visuals that are, I believe it's your wife that takes all the photos, right? So that you guys can buy straight from their website as well. And so if you're not a content creator, there's different ways of doing it. But I mean, Megan, this stuff was so gold. This right here, right? Denise says this is the best education ever. So, there's just been so much good. I'm just trying to catch up. But can you send us post a copy of this? Oh, it's going to be, this is a live, which means it's going to stay here forever. It's going to be in our guides tab with all of the live training that has ever gone on in this group. So it'll be there. You guys are good to go. And 100% join us at our leadership marketplace, because you guys are going to be able to find a ton of vendors who sell content, who are like Megan and are just thrive in making these photos. But I think a lot of it's also going to come from when you are creating your own content, you feel a sense of ownership over it, and you feel a sense of connection to it. So I think it is something that if you want to go that Instagram route, I would definitely encourage you to make it real and make it yours and make it something you come up with. I think that's a really good thing. And the last question I'm going to ask you, Megan, before we go, because I know you've got 5 kids and one of them's a baby, so you probably have to dash as well, and I want to respect your time. But the one question I wanted to ask that I know a few people asked here in the comments is, when do you post? Do you post when you feel inspiration, or do you have a specific schedule? And I feel like I know the answer to this.
I love this question. I think I'm so glad you asked, because this is the most vital piece to all of your Instagram presence is create content when you are inspired, not post content. So if you create when you're inspired, can I just show one more thing? Can I show my screen one more time? Okay. So when I feel super inspired, you've got your passion on, it is a beautiful weather day, I do something called batch creating. So take a whole bunch of pictures on that day when you're feeling inspired. A whole bunch of pictures. The lighting's beautiful. This is all from one 20-minute session. Take all your pictures when you're feeling really inspired, because that inspired energy, you're bottling all that beautiful energy up, and you're creating. And I use something called an app called Planoly, which is a scheduling app, and there's lots of different scheduling apps. And I toss it in there, all the content pictures I take. And then when I feel really, really inspired to write blurbs about it, I'm writing from a very inspired place to my pictures. So it may be a day like today where it was just a crapshoot of a day. I did not feel like, if you were to ask me to create content and post it today, you would be getting really crappy value, because I'm just posting for the sake of posting, because I think that's what I'm supposed to do. However, I have all these amazing posts that are already created that hold that bottled up energy of excitement and love and passion and inspiration when I wrote them. And I use that. So you can create a month's worth of content in like a really inspired afternoon, and then it's bottled up, beautiful inspiration. You are putting your time and effort into that, and then you're taking that content, you're spreading it out over a month. Apps like this will also tell you the best time to post for your community. So it might be in the mornings, it may be in the evenings. Check that out, and you can schedule your content so it posts out. But what I love about doing this is I'm not a slave to Instagram. I'm in my stories during the day as I feel pleased, and I'm sharing different oil things or just letting people get to know me. But as far as my feed grid, I have that all pre-planned about a month in advance, so that I'm not sitting there every day being like, crap, I don't feel like taking a picture. I'm not inspired right now. I'm tired. I'm just going to put crap content out there, because people feel the energy of your post. So for example, in this app, you can move your pictures around so you can structurally see what you want it to look like. So it's kind of fun. So you can really visually get a good idea, but you're posting from a very, 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 stop sharing. You're posting from a really, really inspired place. So I always create content from a place of wanting to connect with my community. So I think a lot of times your content will connect with your community if you're coming from that place, rather than just like randomly throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks when you're not feeling that inspiration. So apps like Planoly and doing your content in time blocks when you feel inspired means that you're saving yourself time. You have a fantastic Instagram presence without being a slave to Instagram. And your content has a lot of value because you were really into it while you were creating it.
So good. I'm so grateful for you always. I absolutely love always, being side by side with you here. You just have so much value to offer. You're such an amazing human, such a great friend. And I'm so glad that you came on here and shared all of your with everybody that's here today. So guys, I just want to leave
thank you.
Before Megan hops off, and I'm sure if she's got some time, she will come back and look at these comments and answer some things if she can as well.
Yeah.
But will not put the pressure on her to do so, because I know she answered a lot of things today already for us. But so that you guys know, again, the Leadership Marketplace is happening March 15th to March 22nd in the Leadership Marketplace group. So please make sure you are in that group. We already have all of the vendor spotlights been dropping since March the 1st, or no, sorry, not March the 1st. Since last week, we've had vendor spotlights dropping, and we've got lots of people who actually, this is their passion. And so they curate lots of photos too. If you really don't feel it, but creating your home, we've got some vendors that do that too. So please make sure you're part of that group and that you are going to do it, because it's exclusive discounts, 50 vendors, exclusive discounts all week for your oil business. So make sure you're part of that group. Also, like I said, I always want to give you guys different types of visions around some of the same topics. And so next week, next Thursday night, we will actually have a one of my business coaches who I work with, Kat Abionic. You might know her. She came up with the Oily Bundle, but she'll be giving another kind of Instagram training that is going to just completely complement what Megan's taught you and sort of show you another version of it that's a little bit more of that structure. So Megan has shown you so much of the flow, so much of the creation, so much of where your energy should be, where your heart should be. And then this will give you a little bit of that structure that comes with it too. So you can kind of have the balance of both of those energies, because we really do have to play in, like I said, what feels right for us, because you have to do doTERRA your way. And this has just been such brilliant, brilliant content. So grateful for you, Miss Spoelstra. Thank you for good evening.
Thank you for inviting me.
You are like just, yeah, so great. And this was so great for everyone that was on. I've just been seeing all of the comments rolling in, and everyone is so appreciative. So I know there's going to be a lot of people who have been feeling stuck since the last year of not being able to see people in person, and getting their mindset over the fact that we actually can sell through DMs, and that's not a roadblock. So thank you for showing the hope in there.
Yes, thank you so much, baby.
All right. Well, everyone, it is now 9:17 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go get to bed over here on the East Coast. And for everybody else, have an amazing, amazing evening. And we'll see you guys soon here in the collective. Have a good evening, everyone. And for those watching the replay, hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.